The time by Carrie Chris is 6 p.m. Time for CBX Business News. The Business News headlines is brought to you by CBX Wealth Management, making more possible.
Relief measures, trade surpluses, and a big bet on AI infrastructure. Good evening and welcome to CBX Business News for Friday, January 9, 2026. I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for joining us. Coming up, VM offers loan moratoriums to support clients affected by Hurricane Melissa as recovery efforts continue. Also ahead, Bermuda posts a U.S. $532 million trade surplus, holding strong even as services activity slows. And later, OpenAI and SoftBank invest U.S. $1 billion in a major U.S. AI data center build-out. Stay with us as we unpack these stories and more right after the break.
Wealth is not simply counted in dollars or cents, but in the time we spend with love, in love, giving love. Wealth is not simply a means to an end. It is the means to live out loud. Wealth is more than money. It's about family, the memories you create, the legacy you leave behind, and your ability to enjoy life in the moment. It's also about seeing the CBX possibilities and seizing investment opportunities to achieve the future you want and deserve. Which is why CBX Wealth will focus on your investments so you can experience more. Because true wealth is truly more. To start investing today, call 876-926-7767.
Kingston, Jamaica is a place to be in January 2026 for the 21st staging of the Regional Investment and Capital Market Conference that will be hosted by the Jamaica Stock Exchange at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. We invite you to join us as we bring together government leaders, issuers, investors, and potential investors for 3 days of insightful presentations and discussion. Register now. Seats are limited. Call 876-967-3271 or visit jamstockx.com.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never ever ever wanna calm down. No, no, no.
The local news is brought to you by Derriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin with signs of financial stability after Hurricane Melissa. In a major move to stabilize businesses, VM Group has rolled out loan moratoriums and repayment accommodations for customers directly affected by the storm. The group's president and CEO, Courtney Campbell, says the measures are designed to ease cash flow pressure on borrowers facing income disruption, property damage, and recovery costs, while preventing a spike in loan delinquencies across its portfolio.
Many of them have, found that it will be difficult to service their loans. We're providing them with appropriate responses there in terms of loan moratorium and so on.
VM Group says it is now developing new financial products and services to support customers through a long recovery period after Hurricane Melissa.
So the work continues because this will be a long process. So we're actually busy now thinking of new products and services, other ways to respond. And I really want to say, though, that I'm so proud of the VM team because, though they had damage, our team members themselves, they were able to have all our offices, our branch offices in those areas reopened within 2 weeks.
Meanwhile, VM Group says it has restored to near full operations following Hurricane Melissa, with 39 of its 40 automated banking machines now back online. The company says the rapid recovery was achieved despite damage to facilities and personal losses among staff in the western part of the island.
And we're pretty much almost back to normal operating hours now. And 39 of our ABMs, with an ABM network of 40, are now functional, including many in the West.
That was VM Group President and CEO Courtney Campbell. Staying with banking news, there's international recognition for Jamaica's financial sector. The National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited, NCBJ, has once again set the pace in Jamaica's foreign exchange market, clinching its 8th consecutive Global Finance Best Foreign Exchange (FX) Bank Award for 2026. The award recognizes NCB's sustained leadership following the full digitization of its FX platform, with the bank recording close to $8 billion in foreign exchange activity across all major currencies during the year. Performance was driven by strong activity in forwards, structured FX solutions, and liquidity support for large corporate transactions. Assistant Vice President in NCB's Treasury and Correspondent Banking Division, Peter Higgins, says the recognition reflects a disciplined execution and deep client trust. He pointed to the bank's role in supporting complex, time-sensitive transactions across sectors such as energy and telecommunications, areas where reliable FX access is critical to operations. The Global Finance Best FX Bank Award is widely regarded as an international benchmark, assessing banks on market share, transaction volumes, innovation, pricing, liquidity management, and execution strength. NCB's repeat recognition underscores sustained performance in a market that demands speed, accuracy, and dependable settlement. In other news, the government says electricity and water infrastructure across Jamaica are nearing full restoration, a key development for businesses navigating recovery following Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says more than 90% of electricity will be restored in critical areas by the end of the month. At the same time, he says the water sector is expected to reach about 95% recovery within the same time frame.
We have started to recover electricity and restore electricity right throughout the country. We have teams out there, and by the end of this month, 90% or more of the areas that have been affected will have electricity in their critical thoroughfares, critical town centers, and then after that, we will do the remote areas. For water, they will be at 95% by the end of the month.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness speaking recently. We go now to updates from the Bank of Jamaica on how the currency markets traded today. The Jamaican dollar won against all its counterparts today. In Friday's currency trading session, the US dollar is selling for $158.63, the Canadian for $114.35, the pound sterling for $212.72, and the going rate for the euro is $184.83. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities. In Friday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 119 stocks, of which 41 advanced, 50 declined, and 28 traded firm. Leading the winners are West Indies Petroleum Terminal, MPC Caribbean Clean Energy USD, Knutsford Express Services, and Paramount Trading Jamaica. While leading the losers are Mayberry Jamaican Equities, Iron Rock Insurance Company, Consolidated Bakeries Jamaica, and Margaritaville Turks USD. The main index advanced by 1,332.55 points to close at 328,034.97 points. The junior market index, however, declined by 8.90 points to close at 3,360.34 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
In today's Market Education Feature, we're looking at Net Advantage to Leasing, or NAL, N-A-L. Net Advantage to Leasing measures whether it's financially better to lease an asset rather than buy it outright. It does this by comparing the net present value, or NPV, of owning the asset with the MPV of leasing it over the same period. This analysis helps individuals and businesses weigh both direct and indirect costs, including payments, maintenance, taxes, and potential resale value. In some cases, a friction cost analysis is also used to capture additional costs that can differ between leasing and buying. By applying NPV calculations over the asset's expected lifespan, NAL helps decision makers determine which option delivers the greater financial benefit.
The Market Education Feature was brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
The local news is brought to you by Diamond Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items, such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-9235-111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
How may I assist you today?
I want to open an account for me and my son.
That's great. Let me see your documents. I understand you want to know about our savings account. Let me show you a few accounts and the benefits of each account.
Why do you need so many documents from my mommy?
It's called KYC, Know Your Customer. This helps us to protect you and treat you right. Thanks for the documents. Take a look at this brochure. Let's discuss savings accounts. A savings account is an interest-bearing deposit account. Customers with savings deposit accounts are covered up to $1.2 million per ban, so you don't have anything to worry about.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is moving to tighten oversight of its Citizenship by Investment CBI program, announcing new residency requirements and a global biometric data system. Speaking during Thursday's roundtable interview, Dr. Terence Drew says the changes are designed to strengthen transparency, security, and the long-term sustainability of the program.
And we are now in a stage where we have now implemented, or going to implement very shortly, the residency aspect to our CBI program and the collection of biometric data from around the world, a technology and a company that have been put in place to ensure that. The same company that does our ETA at the airport is the same company that will be collecting our bio data from potential citizens from around the world.
The Prime Minister also noted that the new framework will enhance monitoring of applicants and provide stronger safeguards for both the state and legitimate investors.
I cannot say what any country or region will do. I can say what we will do and what we have done. We have taken strict measures in increasing the minimum investment, strengthened further our due diligence, making sure that the processes are transparent. We have shifted our CBI unit to become a statutory body to have proper oversight.
That was Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew. Bermuda maintained a strong external position in the second quarter of 2025, recording a $532 million current account surplus with non-residents, even as key service industries showed signs of cooling. According to the Department of Statistics, the surplus was $34 million lower than a year earlier, reflecting weaker receipts from business services. That decline was partly offset by reduced payments abroad, limiting the overall impact on the balance. The primary income account posted a robust $723 million surplus, driven by higher employee compensation and investment income, providing the main support for Bermuda's external earnings. Meanwhile, the goods deficit narrowed to $320 million as imports declined, while the services surplus fell to $190 million, pointing to softer business and travel-related activity. Overall, the figures show Bermuda continues to generate solid external surpluses, even as global demand shifts and service sector growth moderates. In other news, the government of Trinidad and Tobago says its energy arrangements with Venezuela remain financially sound, despite heightened concern about recent developments there. At a post-cabinet briefing, Dr. Rudal Munilal rejected claims that recent political and military developments in Venezuela have disrupted gas agreements with the country.
Trinidad and Tobago has really done precious little business with Venezuela vis-a-vis energy. We are involved with several major countries of the world in partnerships. But we have never been involved. There's no commercial relationship in the energy sector. What we may have had is some agreements, some memoranda of agreement and so on over the years signing. But with all the developments, which I will not address, is not my portfolio, we have not lost a dollar. We haven't gained a dollar, but we haven't lost a dollar. We simply don't have commercial relationships on that issue.
The minister says the government is continuing work to broaden energy cooperation.
We have work to do. But again, Venezuela is not the be-all and end-all of this business. We have very serious developments taking place in other CARICOM territories, and we are working closely with those partners. We are now looking at partnerships outside of the region, particularly South America, Europe and Asia and so on, to see how we can deepen our collaboration in the energy sector. I can tell you that those discussions have been taking place, and much more will be done this year.
That was Trinidad's Energy Minister, Dr. Rudal Munilal. It's now time for news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 23 securities, of which 11 advanced, 2 declined, and 10 traded firm. Today's winners are the West Indian Tobacco Company, Eric Solis Marketing, National Flour Mills, and Guardian Holdings. While today's losers are Prestige Holdings and National Enterprises. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All TNT Index advanced by 8.30 points to close at 1,386.08. The Composite Index advanced by 4.57 points to close at 955.85. The Cross-Listed Index advanced by 0.08 points to close at 69.32. The SME Index advanced by 0.08 points to close at 94.07. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up next.
Are so much book you need for high school?
I'll show you how to make sure you have all the money for my books and even some extra. It's called budgeting, Dad. Making a budget is the most important thing you can do to track your money. It keeps a record of how much you make, how much you spend, where you spend it, and most importantly, how much you can save. Write down all your income, write down all your expenses, see where you can cut down and allot more money to more important things, like saving.
Welcome back. In international news, OpenAI and SoftBank have committed a combined $1 billion to SB Energy as the companies accelerate the build-out of large-scale data centers across the United States. Each firm will invest $500 million, strengthening SB Energy's role as a developer and operator of next-generation AI infrastructure. As part of the agreement, OpenAI has selected SB Energy to build and operate a 1.2 gigawatt data center in Milam County, Texas, a facility large enough to power roughly 750,000 U.S. homes at any given moment. The deal highlights a growing constraint facing big tech electricity supply. Surging AI demand is driving a race to secure power, pushing companies to invest directly in energy and infrastructure rather than rely solely on utilities. Staying with large-scale investments decisions, but shifting now to energy and geopolitics, Chevron could unlock a meaningful boost to cash flow as U.S. policy shifts reopen limited access to Venezuela's oil sector. According to analyst estimates, the energy giant could generate between $400 million and $700 million annually by increasing production in Venezuela, equivalent to roughly 1 to 2% of Chevron's operating cash flow. Chevron is currently the only major U.S. oil company operating in Venezuela, producing about 240,000 barrels per day through joint ventures shared with state-run Petroleas de Venezuela. While Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, decades of underinvestment, mismanagement, and sanctions have left output sharply reduced. Chevron is expected to focus on incremental gains from existing assets rather than commit large amounts of new capital until there is greater political and fiscal stability. Turning now to currency markets across Latin America. The Brazilian real strengthened to over 1 month highs, trading past 5.37 per US dollar as domestic fundamentals outweighed ongoing dollar strength. Inflation data showed headline prices easing to 4.26% in December, the lowest level since August, while core inflation remains firm, particularly in services, reinforcing expectations that monetary policy will stay restrictive. At the same time, record low unemployment has highlighted labor market resilience despite elevated borrowing costs, supporting domestic demand and policy credibility. With the Selic rate held at 15% and long-term bond yields still in double digits, Brazil continues to stand out as one of the most attractive carry trade destinations among emerging markets, helping underpin the real even as global financial conditions remain tight. And finally, a steadier picture from Mexico's currency market. The Mexican peso traded sideways near 18 per US dollar as domestic support was offset by a firmer greenback. Minutes from the Bank of Mexico reinforced a cautious data-dependent policy stance following December's 25 basis point rate cut. Policymakers signaled no urgency to accelerate easing, pointing to lingering pressures in core inflation. Headline inflation eased to 3.69%, while core inflation slowed to 4.33%, broadly in line with forecasts, suggesting risks are moderating but not fully resolved. Meanwhile, resilient U.S. economic data continued to support the dollar, limiting peso appreciation and leaving the currency range bound. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side of the break.
Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now. Say bye-bye pain. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Be good to you. Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited.
Serious about building Jamaica? Build with solid PVC pipes and conduits, manufactured in Jamaica by Phosphate, made to the highest standard. Solid PVC pipes and conduits are made in Jamaica by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. Available at hardware stores across the island. Take some solid advice, support our economy, and build well. Buy solid PVC pipes. Next time, ask for solid brand PVC pipes and conduits. Call our distributors or Phosphate at 876-937-5099.
And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, VM offers loan moratoriums to support clients after Hurricane Melissa. Regionally, Bermuda posts $532 million trade surplus despite services slowdown. And internationally, OpenAI and SoftBank invest $1 billion in US AI data centers build-out. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rachelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.